Hi everyone, I'm Margie O'Brien with Capital TV. Today on this Capital Spotlight, we're talking about privacy issues in Rhode Island, and Representative Blake Filippi is joining us. Thanks for being here.
I'm happy to be here, Margie. Thank you.
So we've been reading for weeks in the news about this iPhone privacy issue, but there's also issues right here in Rhode Island, and one begins with the Stingray, which I'm sure a lot of people have never even heard about.
Sure. Stingray is a new device developed by the federal government, which allows it's like a little box that the police can turn on, and all cell phones within a given area start feeding data into that box. It acts as a cell phone tower. And by using that, the police can monitor what data is going through our cell phones, and they can also track locations. So it's a new technology which I think raises serious privacy concerns in our digital age.
And I'm sure that many people have not heard about this. How long has it been in effect, and where are these happening?
So I've known about it for a couple years, but they've been used in Florida and in Maryland that we know of. And there's a lot of secrecy behind them, too. There was an issue in Florida where the ACLU submitted a public document request for all the documents relating to the Stingray, and the police immediately turned all the documents over to the federal government, who weren't subject to that public records request, just so the ACLU couldn't get their hands on it.
Now, ideally, the police have set this up for good reasons, to be able to filter maybe some bad things happening in the community, but there is a chance for breach of this privacy. I mean, who knows what's on your cell phone? Who knows what you're saying in your conversations?
Agreed, and who knows where you are. And you can always argue expediency, right? That there's a reason the police need this technology, but we have a right to privacy in this country, and if we lose that right to privacy in the name of police expediency, I think a lot of things negative will happen to our psyche as a people if we don't have the ability to be private from government.
What would you like to see happen to these?
I would like to see a warrant requirement. A warrant requirement absent exigent circumstances. So if there's an emergency where a child has been kidnapped or something like that, then I think the police should be able to use it without the process of going through the judicial warrant. But in normal criminal investigations, I think there should be a warrant requirement signed by a judge before this intrusive technology is used.
Okay, and where are we with this legislation right now?
So it was submitted a couple weeks ago, and it's waiting for its hearing in front of the House Judiciary Committee.
We're definitely going to keep an eye on that. The other privacy issue that we did want to talk about today was the fact that gantries are going up in our state. They will be scanning the vehicles coming in for information. And you're a little bit concerned about exactly what that information will be used for.
Sure. So the technology these gantries have is going to be quite intense. It's going to have cameras, license plate readers. I think they said there's going to be lasers. I'm not totally sure what the lasers are for, but it's the license plate readers which I think are a large concern, because we're going to have an integrated system of multiple gantries throughout our state, and all of our data passing under those gantries is going to be captured. And if it's not controlled, I fear that someone, a private contractor who may be operating the gantries, or the law enforcement, may be able to track our movements throughout the state. And again, I think that's something that should have a warrant, to be honest. Again, absent exigent circumstances. So if there's an Amber Alert where a child has been kidnapped, I think the warrant requirement wouldn't apply.
Because what a perfect way to really either deter an Amber Alert in our state or to be able to catch the vehicle within minutes.
Of course. But again, it's that exigency we can't allow to overcome our general privacy. I think we have to be very careful about allowing the argument that we need it for an Amber Alert to then allow the police to use these in their normal day-to-day criminal enforcement activities.
So how do you make sure this language is perfect in the bill before you put it forth?
Well, that's the committee process, right? So the bill comes before committee, we hear the testimony from all the different sides, and then if it's something that's a go, we sit down and we really refine the language to make sure it's acceptable for being part of our general laws.
All right, we would definitely going to keep an eye on this. Representative, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure to be here, Margie.
All right, and that was another Capital Spotlight. I'm Margie O'Brien for Capital TV.